Greetings, seekers after enlightenment. Yes, that's the Irish fella. I am currently up the hill because I participated in a memorial service. So there will be no regular daily briefing today. However, I did not waste this day being a slacker. I am becoming more vocal in my political opinions. And since I live in the brutal honesty regime, I must do what I'm doing now. In the interest of full disclosure, I shall share my journey into political philosophy with you. This way, you can understand my perspective on current events. Way back in the day, I was a Democrat. Now, this was not an act of deliberately seeking it out because I was a teenager. It was a default position because both of my parents were Democrat. But even though I was raised that way, I started drifting away early on. In 1974, I was excited to vote in a national election for the first time. And I got into the voting booth and started selecting Democrats, just going down the line. And then I saw something surprising. New York State back then had pictures of the candidate along with name and party affiliation. I saw a black face. I didn't care that he was a Republican. I voted for him. After I got home, I asked my stepfather how he voted. He said, straight Democratic ticket. You didn't notice the black man? I checked afterwards, and unfortunately, he lost the election. And so, one could say I became a Republican almost by default, or as a reflex. Now I remember voting for Ford in '76. And then 1980 came. I was in the Marines at the time, so of course I was going to vote for someone who will preserve my job. And this is not a crack on Carter. He had a lot of issues to deal with, and his own party opposed him. In 1988, I voted for Bush over Dukakis. Yet things changed for me in 1992. I was watching speeches from the Republican National Convention, and they seemed mean-spirited, as if they were becoming a club where you were not welcome. And I was asleep at the time, you might say. But after one such speech, I made a sign and put it in the rear window of my station wagon with a public declaration of Maru 92, Andre Maru, look him up. I became a libertarian. There were other name changes and shifting of philosophy. For a while, I was a registered member of the Constitution Party. It did take some time, but gradually I noticed first that I was voting for people who want me to have economic liberty. And later, I was drifting more towards candidates who would enhance my personal liberty. There's a quote by President Reagan. He says, he did not leave the Democratic Party the party left him. And I feel the same way about Republicans. Now, using a really quick and dirty shorthand, you can basically say Democrats tax and spend too much. Republicans borrow and spend too much. And as someone who is now settled into a configuration that is conservative with a strong libertarian admixture, just like TFM said, there is nobody in the current political environment that represents me. Now, in effect, we're closing in on a situation similar to that in Europe, where we have a massive social bureaucracy and we're just arguing over who's better at counting the change. Now, back in the day, Democrats called themselves the party of the Big Tent. They welcomed those who called themselves oppressed, saying that they were willing to set aside differences and use their influence to help them seek justice. Sounds like a noble goal, but who's seeking justice for me and people that think like I do? My personal philosophy has morphed and changed over time repeatedly as I was exposed to new information. Every step I've taken towards the present has been met with unexpected reactions, and they've become even more extreme in the current environment. House Nigra, Coon, Oreo, yeah, I've heard those from people this close to my face. I've had other people roll up on me on the street and yell at me saying, "You should be ashamed of yourself for wearing a MAGA hat." Or, "You've been brainwashed and you're suffering from Stockholm Syndrome and you're identifying with your oppressors." Really? Those seem like kind of harsh words to put on someone who just has a difference of opinion. Now, I'm probably like most average people. You're not indifferent to politics, but you're too busy with work and supporting a family. You know, you have to survive. And if you have people that you're responsible for, you've got to take care of them. So, most people are too busy to be involved in activism. And it creates a skewed environment where those in charge think that the loudest voices they hear is what the majority opinion is. Well, we know that's not true. But every day I see more and more attempts to usurp rights granted by God and highlighted in the documents which founded our nation. And I'm compelled to call out those that are abusing their fellow men. That's why I made the new channel, The Disinterested Observer. And yeah, I've got a libertarian attitude. I really don't care about a lot of stuff because it doesn't personally involve me. Like just yesterday. Oops, sorry about that. Just yesterday I was listening to a Reddit story about a guy. He was a badass. He was a career military combat veteran, multiple awards, but his kids didn't like him because he was gay. So he ended up meeting someone that he grew very attached to when he was in a retirement or assisted living center. He stayed there for 3 years, and his kids never paid him a single visit because they did not like his lifestyle. So when they read his will, he says that not only is all my money going to my new friend, I have arranged to be buried right next to Mom, and my friend will be buried right next to me. So every time you come to see us, you'll be reminded in death why you didn't visit me in life. It's like, now that's some great karma blowback. But some guy, I can't even remember his name, he jumped on and says, oh, but if you're a libertarian, you should be concerned about gay rights. And I told him, you know, I have people in my family that are gay, but that's just a part of what they are. That's not all of what they are. And that you know, I treat everyone like a human being. That is just a little piece that has nothing to do with what's under discussion. And you know, he was trying to use language to shame me and saying, oh, if you're a libertarian, then you have to support it. Well, no. Free association is one of the foundations of libertarian philosophy. I hang out with who I want. And don't even try to come back and say, oh, you hate gay people because you won't hang out with them. That has nothing to do with it. I don't give a bald rat's ass if you're gay or not. You know, what's your position on public policy? How would you handle things if you had the checkbook? That's what I want to know. You know, are you a person that wants less government interference in your life? Those are the kind of people I'm looking at. I am not doing a knee-jerk reaction and say, oh, he's got an R behind his name, so he must be bona fide. No, they're both raggedy-ass, lying motherfuckers. And anyone awake knows that. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with my Cerberus alter ego. And there will be more. You know what? I need just a little bit more time to settle in, and there will be more regular content coming. Because things are coming together. But I wanted to just jump out here and let you know why I am doing what I'm doing. As always, your feedback is always welcome. And for you haters, you probably don't even know about this channel, but on my regular channel, I get a lot of downvotes. And I know that's from people that I blocked because they've proven how ignorant they are. But if you come respectfully and want to have a conversation, I'm always ready to talk to you. It's like, I know words, as I've said before, are ideas expressed imperfectly. I have no guarantee that what I'm saying is going to make sense to you, but I'm always willing to clarify my statements. It's like, yeah, you know, you might think I have a weak poker hand, but I'm always ready to back my play. Remember that. So until the next time, remember, when one teaches, to learn.